watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Following some breaking news right now. Crews battling a fire in Mission Valley. This is in the 2400 block of Hotel Circle Place. The fire broke out just before 4:30 this morning. A live pic from the scene. You can see flames are out. Looks like the firefighters are just kind of investigating where this all started, trying to figure what led up to this fire. Not clear what caused this fire or if anyone was hurt in this. We have a crew there at the scene. We'll update you as soon as we learn more on this fire that broke out in Mission Valley. 6 a.m. here on this Tuesday. Thanks for being here. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Irampour. And wow, we have been spoiled with this warm weather. It was a cool down yesterday.
Yeah, 70s.
Still,
you barely notice it.
Sweatshirts not necessary.
Yeah, no. I'm sure other parts of the country laughed at us as we called the 70s cool down, but nonetheless, we got there. It was a drop from the 90s that we were at on Sunday. Today, we're in the middle there. We're at the 80s, and it's because Santa Anas are making a return starting today and lasting through tomorrow, even into early Thursday. Before we see those winds shift offshore, which will be in the next couple hours, we do have a little bit of fog hugging the coast. That's mainly down toward Coronado and downtown San Diego, 4 and 5 miles of visibility. But take a look at the afternoon conditions. Partly cloudy and mostly sunny, 73 out by the water, 84 this afternoon as we look inland, and only getting warmer through tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a look at how warm in just a few. Vanessa is checking in on what our roads look like this morning.
Good morning. 6:01 is the time on your Taco Tuesday. Things are looking so far so good. A lot of green on the traffic maps indicating that we're at full freeway speeds. As we go ahead and kind of showcase the cameras around town, 52-mile-per-hour speeds. That's what you're averaging headed northbound. This is coming in from the South Bay on the 805 right at Home Avenue. Switching gears a little more east, this is coming in from Santee as you make your way up the summit. Speeds down to about 65, 70 miles per hour or so. That's headed towards Tierra Santa. And this is what it looks like for both of those directions on the 78 right at Nordal. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your Tuesday travel times have in store. Neda.
All right, thank you, Vanessa. Today, family and friends will honor 6-year-old Hudson O'Loughlin with a memorial walk in Pacific Beach. Hudson was killed in a hit and run while riding his bike last month. The walk starts today, 4 p.m. This will be at Crown Point Junior Music Academy and ends at the crash site on Pacific Beach Drive, where a ghost bike dedication will honor his memory. The driver, Tiffany Sanchez, has pleaded not guilty and now faces up to 6 years in prison if convicted. New this morning, fines are now possible for e-bike riders under the age of 12 and their parents in San Marcos.
This is part of a new law that is now in effect. CBS 8's Jenny Day live in San Marcos to explain how much people will pay if they break the law here, Jenny.
Yeah, of course, the goal here is safety. So whether you're on a bicycle or an electronic bike, the same rules of the road now apply as if you were driving in a car. So that does include following all traffic lights and signs, stopping for pedestrians at crosswalks, no riding on the sidewalk. Anyone under 18 must wear a helmet, and you can only have a passenger if your bike is made for that. Things like driving the wrong way or an unsafe lane change will cost you $35. Running a red light or stop sign will come with a fine of $100, and we're told the court fees are about $300 on top of that. I spoke with the mayor recently who says they are trying to make San Marcos more walkable, more bike-friendly, overall safer and healthier.
Really hearing a lot from our community that they were frustrated, our bike riders are frustrated, our drivers. And so we decided to implement the legislation that was passed by Assemblymember Thorner. And so it just seemed very logical for us to do that.
Yeah, again, this goes for kids 12 and under and their parents. E-bikes are completely banned for those under 12. So the education component really is huge. The new law actually passed in October, and that's what the city has been trying to do since then, just educate the public. Again, they have partnered with the local school districts and also the sheriff's department to make sure that people know these new rules rather than just hand out tickets. We're live this morning from San Marcos. Jenny Day, CBS 8.
And today, the House is expected to vote on a deal to reopen the government. President Donald Trump is urging House members on both sides of the aisle to quickly pass the Senate's funding bill. That plan provides Homeland Security just 2 weeks of funding. That gives lawmakers time to negotiate reforms to ICE after federal agents killed 2 U.S. citizens in Minneapolis last month. And this morning, we have an update on a story we brought to you yesterday. Both the cities of Chula Vista and San Diego have passed resolutions to condemn recent federal ICE actions.
CBS 8's Chris Groh live downtown to explain what happens next. Chris.
Yeah, and those 2 shootings that you just mentioned there, that those were referenced as a reason as to why we are seeing these resolutions passed, especially there in the city, or here, I should say, in the city of San Diego. In fact, here's City Council member Sean Elo Rivera speaking about how he has felt watching everything take place across the nation.
With neighbors and friends who have described the fear that now pervades their daily lives, the way that parents in neighborhoods the way that parents are coordinating to walk each other's kids to school or create escape routes through their backyards just in case armed agents return to their neighborhoods. This is not law enforcement.
You just heard there Councilmember Sean Elo Rivera speaking about the fear in communities here when they are seeing these immigration tactics take place across the nation. But then again, also here, important to point out, back in 2025, we saw, of course, what happened in South Park as 2 restaurants were raided. ICE agents in tactical gear, again, just for that immigration enforcement. Now, the resolution that was passed, of course, condemns the tactics that have been used in immigration enforcement, also gives the city attorney power to file or join a lawsuit to support the Minnesota and Illinois lawsuits against the Department of Homeland Security and the Trump administration for excessive tactics from authorities. Take a listen to what we heard in Chula Vista as we heard from some residents who were against this, but then also some who sit on the city council. This was a unanimous vote, who were supportive. Take a listen.
When enforcement becomes deadly and lacks transparency, it erodes public trust. And it's not enough for local governments to be silent. And I won't be silent.
It's absolutely wrong for them as leaders of our community to say that the Constitution is not important enough to follow.
And so what we know, especially for the city of Chula Vista, is that while that was a unanimous vote, Mayor John McCann was absent as he is fulfilling his duty as a reservist. But again, we do see that both cities here passing resolutions condemning the enforcement actions that we are seeing from the federal government. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story, including if there could be any ordinances passed. Again, resolutions are just public statements, public messages. We did hear talk about the city of Chula Vista potentially looking into passing some sort of ordinance as well, too. Back to you in studio.
Okay, Chris, thank you for explaining it. This just in now, San Diego among the cities that'll host soccer matches for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics.
That's right. 6 U.S. cities were just named as hosts for group stage games. And guess what? We're one of them.
Right.
Yes, happening at Snapdragon Stadium. Fans can register for the Olympic ticket draw through March 18th. It was previously announced that Olympic surfing will take place at Trestles Beach in San Clemente, just north of San Diego County.
Okay.
So how about that?
All right.
We know soccer's a big deal here, and now international draw here for the Olympics.
Seriously, that's going to be a hot ticket. Yes, at Snapdragon.
Right. Good to hear.
I registered earlier a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, and there were like hundreds of thousands of people in line with me. So,
That queue. Those are fun to be in.
That's how you know, right? But hopefully that would be very cool to be out here in San Diego watching Olympic Games happening. Live look outside. This view has changed dramatically within just the last 10, 15 minutes, and that's because we have a mix of high clouds and low clouds. The low clouds are allowing for a bit of fog to start off the morning. High clouds are going to be left once that fog dissipates, and that's because those winds are shifting back offshore. So that'll help to really push those low clouds off the coast. 84 degrees on average this afternoon across the valleys. 73 out by the coast, still very warm, on the warmer side of average by almost 10 degrees. Another live look outside, that is not the sun, that is the nearly full moon. Was full on Sunday. Sunrise is at 6:42, just about a half hour from now. Sunset coming at 5:23. Julian is going to be a spot that we watch for where wind gusts are picking up this afternoon in anticipation for a wind advisory that will be taking effect as well going into tomorrow. The wind advisory is in effect Wednesday to Thursday, but wind gusts do pick up this afternoon all the way to about 25 miles per hour into the afternoon stretch. And you also notice that shift in wind direction that is really going to contribute to that warming trend across our county. We've actually got multiple watches, warnings, advisories to mention. The wind advisory in effect Wednesday to Thursday. That's the tan color here on your screen across our inland valleys toward our mountains because of those Santa Anas. But the green out by the coast is a coastal flood advisory that's in conjunction with a high surf advisory because we have that extra astronomical pull thanks to that nearly full moon, and we also have high surf. So you combine the two factors together, and that's why we have the possibility of some minor coastal flooding that continues into the day today. Vanessa Paz is standing by. She's checking in on traffic as we start off our Tuesday.
Good morning. Overall, pretty quiet on your Taco Tuesday. Let's go ahead and give you a look at the traffic maps here and go ahead and zoom on into the South Bay. 37 mile per hour speeds right now as you travel in from Chula Vista headed northbound. And this is towards National City. As we take a live look outside, here's the 5 in both directions. This is right at 6th Avenue, that drive as you make your way north towards downtown San Diego, inching towards the curves. This was supposed to be a shot of the North County, but it looks like this camera does not want to wake up this morning. So we'll go ahead and focus in on your travel times. Still under 10 minutes for all of those drives headed west. This is in from the East County. About 10 minutes right now for that inbound drive from Santee, 8 minutes in from La Mesa to Mission Valley, and about 7 making your way in from Lemon Grove to downtown San Diego. All right, let's go ahead and see what's happening in from the South Bay. Shooting up to Mission Valley, 15 minutes right now. That's what it'll take you to get in from Main Street. That's around Chula Vista. And 10 minutes as you make your way towards downtown San Diego and from National City. So drives are starting to crawl a little bit, but again, it could be worse. Anywhere between 15 to about 16 minutes or so for those drives headed southbound. That's coming in from Oceanside as well as Escondido. 20 minutes full span of the 78. All right, 6:12 is the time. Here's a quick look at your border wait times. We're tracking over an hour drive to get you across from San Ysidro's port of entry. A little bit of relief in from Otay Mesas, but still pretty heavy there, about an hour and a half at last check.